Joining me today is 7th Sleeper, old school RuneScape artist and winner of the best new old school RuneScape artist, Golden Gnome of 2019. In this interview, we're going to be chatting about how he got into RuneScape, why he plays, the stuff he enjoys, quests, NPCs, all the usual stuff. We're also going to chat about his art, where he gets his creative inspirations from, how he comes up with new ideas, and also some advice for any new upcoming artists. So join me as I head into the mind of 7th Sleeper. Hello 7th Sleeper, welcome.
Hola.
Welcome. So, let's get straight into it. When and why did you start playing RuneScape?
Okay, so the first time I ever was introduced to RuneScape, my dad took me to the public library and somebody was on the library computer. I think I was around the age of, I want to say 6, and I was like, "Oh my god, that looks so cool." He's just walking around. And the only other game that I was really into at that time at 6 years old was a game called Warcraft 3. It was like the game prior to World of Warcraft. And so I was like, "Oh my god, we need to go home and make one of these accounts." And so he took me home and we made a RuneScape account, and I've still got the same exact RuneScape account. So it's just I never quit playing after that.
Did you take breaks at all, or was it kind of a constant in the background?
Yeah, well, okay, so I'd take little breaks, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks where I wouldn't log in, and then I'd log in and play a ton.
Yeah.
But I think the longest break that I ever took was when I was a junior. I think it was either sophomore going into junior year, or yeah, I think it was sophomore going into junior year. I got really into weightlifting and doing things in real life and not on the computer. And
Just didn't
so
have the
I
time.
went from weighing I don't know, maybe 155 to 195 over the course of a 4-month time period.
That's a big gain.
Yeah, I was
The
huge. I was
gains.
jacked, and then all of a sudden, I quit doing it, and now all I do is sit and draw, play RuneScape, Call of Duty, average Chad stuff.
So, because you play, so obviously your art's mostly focused on old school stuff, but do you play RS3 or are you more?
So Invention came out, and I jumped ship. I was like, this is not the game for me, and went completely to old school around the time of Invention. I remember Divination coming out, and I did do a little bit of Divination. I only got to level 60 or something, and then I was like, nope, done, quit. I don't know. Nothing against RS3, but it's not RuneScape to me, because I started playing way back.
It's just changed so much from
Yeah,
that time.
it's the whole combat system, bossing and stuff. It's too different, and it's not enjoyable to me, because the nostalgic the nostalgic, what's the word I'm looking for?
Just feeling, I guess. Isn't
Anyways,
it, really?
yeah, the nostalgic feeling is just not there. So.
All right. And have you got a favourite skill in game to train?
So my favorite skill is not in old school; it's in RS3, and it's it's dungeoneering. I got 99 dungeoneering, and it probably took me maybe 3 weeks to get 4 weeks maybe, and I had 99 dungeoneering. It was the greatest skill ever, just because I don't know, there was something cool about going into a dungeon and doing stuff. I know we have raids and stuff in old school, and people compare them a lot, but I don't think it's the same thing, because it's weird. I don't know. Dungeoneering was just fun, going through randomly generated floors and stuff.
Yeah, it's almost like it's kind of completely separate game, but using elements of the game that you're so familiar with, and combining the two. And have you got a favourite NPC in game? So a quest NPC or?
Well, the obvious answer is Neve, but I'm not gonna say Neve. Probably the Wise Old Man.
Yeah.
I always, as a kid, the Wise Old Man. Anytime I would go through Edgeville or something, I swear to God, I'd pay the 50 GP, watch the tape of him robbing the bank and whatnot, and I was just like, my friends and I, we all had this theory that that wasn't put in the game by like JMods. We're like, oh my god, somebody hacked the account and they stole stuff off of actual players, blah blah blah. And so like we thought, I don't know, our imaginations were wild because I was probably like 9-10 years old, and my imagination was going wild with it.
Yeah, I mean, did you play around the Falador Massacre time or not?
Yeah, but like I had no idea what was going on because I didn't pay attention to a lot of news stuff.
Yeah.
Falador Massacre, I would have been, I probably would have been like 12 years old or something.
And have you got a favourite quest or quest line?
If I had to pick a favorite quest, I would probably say Monkey Madness 2. Just because I like the story and I like that they actually killed off like a character. Like I feel like Neve was super popular and then they just smashed her with a rock.
All right. And what was your favourite moment in the past year? We just started 2020, obviously. So, what in the last year do you have the most fun with in game?
Ooh. I thought I was gonna have a huge, like, heyday with Pref coming to old school RuneScape. Like the Gauntlet. I had big expectations for the Gauntlet, and I feel like the Gauntlet at this point is already dead content. So that was like kind of like a letdown. But I did a lot of Zulcano. Zulcano was fun.
Okay, and looking forwards into the next year, all the stuff announced at RuneFest, was there anything that took your fancy?
Group Iron Man, hands down. And the reason I'm interested in Group Iron Man is because, like, I had a rank, I think he was like rank 36 or something, hardcore Iron Man level 3 skiller. And when he, like, I accidentally died, I DC'd going through Drainer to one of the wizards, mages or whatever that came into the bank. So I DC'd, and that's how I lost my rank there. But I never got back into playing like as an Iron Man. And so when I heard Group Iron Man was coming out, I was like, oh my god, that's so cool! Like I can actually like participate in a lot of things that RuneScape has to offer with friends as an Iron Man, and I can't just like go in, spend money, like if I want to buy bonds to get like an item, like you can do that. It just seems kind of cheap, and like group Iron Man, that like eliminates it. Like you have to grind for everything with your buddies.
There are no shortcuts.
Yeah, no. Plus I got a great group. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think anybody's backed out on me yet. I think my group is Presleek, Zuhar, Enkoro. I don't know if you know who Enkoro is. Vanya, and then that would be everybody. Because then myself, that's 5.
5, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
Fun times.
I am excited.
Because it wasn't an announcement date or anything yet, was there? I don't think. Like for
no,
actual...
They just said like probably late 2020, so it'll probably be end of the summer that we'll get it. Yeah. Maybe later, probably later.
The classic delays. And what oh, go ahead, sir.
I was just gonna say anytime they say that something's coming out on RuneScape, it's like you never know when you're gonna get it. I'm still waiting on the different colored hit splats. So like if you're going to Corp with your buddies, right? You're just sitting there guessing which hits are yours because you're all hitting at the same time, and you're like you see the XP drop, of course, but like Mod Ash, he said that they were gonna try to implement it like I don't know 2 years ago or something, and like it just never came. Like your hit splat would be brighter than everybody else's or something, so like everybody else's would be like a dark red, and so when you hit, you're like, oh, that was my hit.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't sound like the sort of thing that would be too tricky to really actually get into the game either.
It seems pretty easy. I mean, I have no idea about coding for...
No, exactly. They're not programmers.
No. But why the heck isn't it in the game, Mod Ash? I'm tagging you on Twitter when this is out. Calling you out.
And I mean, you've already kind of covered differences between like RS3 and old school. Is there anything that you think old school could learn from RS3 or the other way around?
So I don't think RS3 has anything to learn from old school besides, I don't know, our MTX is not the way. I feel like the way that they do MTX, where you get like, XP lamps and all this cool stuff to like skip ahead, that just kind of like, that sucks. And there's a lot of cosmetics. If there was one thing that I wish was in old school, it would be, I would love it if Dungeoneering came, but other than a skill, I would probably say, what are they called? Keepsake boxes.
Yeah.
If we could have keepsake boxes and like make our characters look cool and unique, rather than everybody that's doing like a Slayer task, like wearing the same Chadscape, like everybody's running around with Bandos on and like best in slot gear. Like, why the heck can't I just be running around in like fancy pants and like, you know, whatever I want?
Personality and color.
Yeah. I think keepsake boxes would be awesome in old school, but I know most people, anybody who watches this who plays old school is probably gonna be like, oh my god, he's not a real old school RuneScape fan. That's so nasty.
All right, and if we move away a little bit from in-game stuff and move towards your art, which obviously is what a lot of people know you for, but you do your Twitch streaming and stuff as well, I know, occasionally, right?
Yeah, just occasionally. I've neglected that for some time.
It's been the holiday period. Everyone's allowed a break. Where did you initially get that creative spark? Where did it come from?
Well, to start my channel, or not my channel, but to start my page, or more just of like just
yourself, like with art. Like, when did you start like realizing it was something you really enjoyed?
When I was like a child. I was drawing all the time. I go over to my grandparents' house, and she'd get out this stuff that was, I don't know what it was used for, but it was like these giant rolls of paper, and she'd just sprawl it out on the table, and we'd sit there and like draw the most random stuff. Like, she'd probably be drawing like a house or some sort of like scenery thing, and I'd be sitting there like doodling like stick figures fighting and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was always doing like the weirdest stuff. Like I was the kid that was like saving all the paper towel rolls after, like from the bathroom, and like making these giant like bazookas or whatever out of them and stuff.
Forts and
I was making weird stuff as a kid.
So you've always been creative, and
yeah,
as you've grown up, it's turned into a bit more focused, I guess. Cause,
a little bit.
Yeah, because obviously your stuff is, you've done a lot of alternate logos, I suppose would be, or parody logos. How do you
parody stuff?
How do you first come up with like that idea? Is it just it pops in your head one day, or?
Most of the time, no, nothing ever just pops up in my head. My secret is if I'm sitting watching anything on Netflix, I'm also scrolling through Google. Like, so for most of my pieces, I mean, there's weird pieces that kind of don't fit, that aren't the logos, that are just kind of like out of nowhere. Like, let me try to think of an example. Okay, so I did a game crossover with a game called, oh god, what's the game called? I've never played the game, but I love the art style. It's called Limbo. Yeah, so my Limbo parody, I've never played that game. I've always loved the art style. I know what the game's about and whatnot. And that just came like, I typed in on Google like pop culture art stuff, and I literally scroll to get like inspired by stuff. And I saw somebody made one that was a cross between that game and Harry Potter, and it was like Harry Potter with the scar on his forehead and then the deer in the woods from one of the movies, and it was like all glowing, and I was like, oh my god, I could like do this with the wolf from Gauntlet. I'm sorry, I'm so scatterbrained. I have to sit and think about things when I'm talking.
It's all right.
But yeah, so most of the time I literally go to Google and I'm like pop culture art, and then I just scroll and go through pages, and then sometimes I just go through Instagram and I type in like a hashtag and I scroll through the feed and see what other people are doing. And if I like something, like I see a lot of people, I follow a lot of like Game Boy stuff. So I see a lot of Game Boys and I'm always like thinking of, like I did a Game Boy parody thing where the RuneScape loading or intro was on a Game Boy with the little music playing in the background. And like, that's where I got that from. All I see is Game Boy stuff on my Instagram feed. And I'm like, as a kid, I always wanted a mobile version of the game or something similar, and I'm still looking for something similar to RuneScape to play like on my Nintendo Switch or something.
Yeah, a Switch version would be great, actually.
Yeah.
Do you play much on mobile on your phone, or not really?
So it depends. I won't do anything besides Slayer, and most of the time it's like, oh, I'm gonna go to my parents' house and I don't want to pack up my laptop, so I'll just sit, watch TV, or do whatever the heck we're doing over there and be slaying on my main.
Something pretty chill.
Yeah.
Nice. And with your art, did you have any formal training, or has it just been a case of through the years you've just kept practicing and it's all...
So much of it is just like, I don't know. I think I was born creative. Even as a kid, like we had like art classes and stuff, and like my stuff compared to other kids my age when I was in like Winskill was like just miles beyond like other people. Like it looked like somebody like multiple years older would have made it and stuff, and that followed me through. I didn't do art in high school or anything, but like middle school I was still doing art, and my stuff was just I don't want to sound like cocky or anything, because like half my art I fucking hate it, but hopefully we can swear. If not, bleep that out.
Don't worry about
it. But yeah, no, I don't know. I see things differently most of the time.
All right. And what program do you use? It Photoshop for most of your drawings, or?
No, I'm one of the cool kids that uses an iPad Pro with Procreate.
Mm-hmm.
So I do it all on an application with an Apple Pen, and there's, I think currently, now I'm probably gonna be wrong by saying this, but I think there's probably a third person. I don't know if Legend Arts ever uses Procreate. I know there's one other person that has Procreate in the RuneScape art community, but other than myself, I know Zuhar does the same thing. Like we use the same program, we use some of the same brushes and stuff, and that's why people on Reddit are always like, "Are you the same people?" Nope. We just use the same application and the same brushes.
And naturally, it looks sort of similar.
Yeah.
Okay. And when you were like coming up with sort of the style, because obviously your style like it is quite parody, but you have got your own like original pieces as well. How did you come about that? Was it just sort of...
So, okay. So we'll start with I started my original pieces. So like I got like the one fishing at Barb Village or whatever.
Yeah.
When I bought the iPad on a whim that I was going to become some sort of online digital artist, and I was just going to grow myself. It wasn't going to be for RuneScape. I was not growing myself for RuneScape. But it happened that I drew this wizard tower, and I posted this way after. Like this was not my first post. I ended up making this wizard tower with like a connection lost thing, and there was a ton of little Easter eggs with like I had this whole thing completed, and then I was like, oh, I'll make one of these trees cut down, and then I'll have a dragon axe sticking out of the stump or whatever, and then I continued to add little RuneScape things, and I was like, well, this was way better than just drawing something random. And then like I did the barbarian fishing one I did, and that did really well on Facebook, and I think that's my official first artistic post. And when I posted that, I didn't think people were gonna like it, but a ton of other RuneScape pages on Facebook that are larger were sharing it. And yeah, after that I was like, I mean, I got a commission almost immediately, and I drew something. It was what was my first commission? it was the duel arena, and I drew like the scene in the duel arena, somebody fighting or whatever. Ended up going on to some gold selling account trading site, whatever. And I was kind of upset by that, but it's whatever. I don't really care anymore. But after that, I don't know. I wasn't growing super fast, and the business side of me was like, well, what do people like? And I was like, well, they like cartoons, and I was like, and they like RuneScape, and so I just started mashing cartoons in RuneScape.
And then it's kind of gone from there.
Yeah, and then it like my original stuff when I was mashing cartoons, like the line work is super sloppy because I'm still getting used to like digital art. So you can tell like the newer stuff that I come out with. Sometimes I'll use like textures as a mask and stuff, and I'll add this shadow backdrop behind whatever the character is, and it gives it more of a depth. And all of my line work is like just I like refine stuff now, where if something's not perfect, like if I draw a line and then a line that's supposed to be connecting, I used to just like that's good, but now I like go in and I round it and stuff and connect it and make it look nice.
Just add that little bit extra of a finishing touch.
Yeah, because like now I know how to like make stuff look crisper.
Yeah. And have you got any tips for like up and coming artists, people that are just they want to get into it and start? What would you say would help them find inspiration or again find their style?
I don't know, find stuff that you like, and don't try to copy other people. And I'm not saying anybody does this to me, but like if you want to make a name for yourself, like the way to do that is not to come in and start pumping out art. Like let's say I'm like my thing is mashing a cartoon with RuneScape most of the time. Like if you want to make a name for yourself, don't come in doing that expecting to grow like crazy and like maybe even get like I had no idea, like I didn't think I was going to get a Golden Gnome, but like I think if anybody wanted, if that was your goal and you're like, well, I want to be recognized in the community for something, and your goal was, oh, I want to get a Golden Gnome, or I want to at least be nominated just so that like I can grow, then I would say you have to do something different from everybody else. So like, yeah, just find something you love and make it work. Find some artistic way to make it work. And then you'll grow.
Yeah.
As long as you like it.
As long as you enjoy what you're doing, I suppose, is the most important thing. Because if you don't, it will kind of come across as well.
Yeah.
So, how was the whole process of the Golden Gnome?
Well, when I first started, it wasn't even in my line of sight. I wasn't thinking anything of it. I was like, oh, I'll just maybe make some friends doing this art stuff and maybe get some commissions here and there. And then I had a ton of people that were super positive and stuff with my art. Like Presley, I would message her for like, I don't know, words of advice or something for a piece. And then she would be like, well, if you're having trouble doing this or whatever, just do this, blah, blah, blah. Like she talked me through a lot of stuff. And then randomly she would just say stuff like, you're definitely going to be nominated for like a Golden Gnome this year. And I would be like, I was like, no way. Like in my head, I was like, that's not even like a thing that's going to happen. Like everybody's way better than me, because everybody is way better than me. There's people that actually have like artistic like training and stuff. They went to school or whatever, and they're doing loads better than I am. But like my stuff is just happened to be like more popular, connects with more people or whatever. But I am not the most artistic person in the RuneScape art community, and there's most people are better than me. But yeah, she would say stuff like that. I'd have other artists say that like, oh, you're definitely going to be nominated for a Golden Gnome. My friends were like, I can't wait to see you nominated for a Golden Gnome. And so like it finally like started, like I started to realize like, oh, I'm probably going to get nominated. So like when the nomination came through, I was kind of expecting it. And I was super grateful, because like that means a lot of people would have had to go out and vote for me. And those people are amazing. Like the fact that they watched me start from like nothing in I think April, and then like now they're voting for me, and people on Reddit are voting for me. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, literally
But
within like 3 to 4 months.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
like no time at all. And all of a sudden, everybody knows me. I'm getting noticed like walking through game. If any player uses Reddit, like they know who I am. Because over the summer, there was times where I was posting like every day for like 2 weeks. And so like, and a lot of my stuff would be like top page Reddit for the day. And it was just like, I don't know. It's super like, it's just super awesome to be noticed like that and to have recognition. And I'm super grateful for it.
So you got your gnome, was it posted to you?
Yeah, I got my gnome.
Came in one piece?
It came in one piece. It's sitting here on my desk. It's a
Lovely.
big boy. He's being used as like a paperweight. I don't know what else to do with him. My family was like, "Oh, you should like have a special podium downstairs and just have him placed like right on a podium with like a light fixture above it, like as
Spotlight
if
on
it's
him.
the only good thing I'll ever accomplish in life."
Have you got a favourite piece of art that you've ever made?
I mean, my favorite stuff is probably like okay, so my favorite stuff is my original stuff that's not like I'm obviously like taking a cartoon and crossing it with RuneScape. My favorite stuff is probably my original stuff. So like I made this I was hoping that this was going to be used as a poster for Jimmy, but I made this one where this guy has a quest cape on and he's like looking out and there's a boat in the water. Like that one I literally did everything's like it's just one of the most free-handed thing I've ever done. And I was inspired by I play a lot of Kingdom Hearts. And so Kingdom Hearts 3 there was this the intro with the music intro. They've got Roxas, who is the main character from one of the prior games, is sitting looking out over this like sunset thing. So like it was all inspired off of this one picture. And I think it turned out like super awesome because it's not if you go and look at it, I think the only thing that is I don't even think the main character is bold black lines. It might be bold. He might be all bold black lines, but everything else is pretty blended and it looks nice.
Awesome. I'll make sure it's on the screen while we've been chatting about it because I'm sure everyone would like to see it. A little bit of a detour, I suppose. You've done a little bit of Twitch streaming. Have you found that?
Okay, so I started Twitch streaming thinking like, oh, maybe if people like my like now that I've got like a name and now that people know who I am, maybe they'll come see me on Twitch and I'll be able to like grow a following because like one of my greatest like the biggest thing I've ever wanted to do, I think the only thing I've ever wanted to do in my life was be a YouTuber, okay? Like as a kid growing up, I thought YouTube was the coolest thing, and I was like the only clear thing where I was like, this is what I want to do when I'm older. It was always YouTube, but I never like had the guts to like start a YouTube channel and like just start. I don't know. I don't know what content I would be bringing to any community. So
the
like,
amount of stuff you need to put out on YouTube as well to even have a chance nowadays, especially.
Yeah. And then Twitch came about, and I always thought like, oh, maybe I could be a Twitch streamer. And now that I've got a name, I was like, may as well try it. And I've got some awesome people that will come to like every single stream, and it's pretty great. It took me like 2 days, and I got affiliate on there so that I could have subscribers. And
Nice.
then I like everybody that was coming daily was like they were already subscribed, and it's just like it's super awesome that people like you so much that like even if you're not doing art, they'll come over and like watch you do Twitch and whatnot. Just like awesome people, awesome friends.
Have you ever thought of trying to stream actually creating your art? Doing that? I'm not sure
So
quite how it works on an iPad Pro.
I've had, yeah. Well, okay, so Zuhar knows how to do it because I've asked him about it. So I could technically, I'll probably end up doing a stream at some point, but I don't think it's what I want to do. Like if somebody comes to my stream, I don't want it to be like, oh, he's doing art today, and then come and I'm not doing art, I'm playing a video game. Like I want to build it as I'm doing games.
Yeah.
I'm not like art to me is something like I'm sitting on the couch, I'm trying to like relax because I have severe anxiety disorder. So when I'm drawing, like I kind of just like I'm in my own space and I'm watching something and just trying to like relax. And I was always afraid that if I did something where I would stream a lot of my art, then maybe it would take that away from me, where it wasn't something that I could do to relax because I'd just be stressed.
Yeah, focusing on too many things at once and not actually putting your effort into the art.
Yeah.
Alright. And how have you found like the RuneScape art community as a whole? Because they seem super friendly at every single time I've chatted to any of them.
It's literally like the greatest community ever. I think the RuneScape art community Discord is the best Discord for RuneScape. There's not much toxicity. We'll have a little bout here and there where somebody starts arguing with somebody else and they'll leave the Discord for a couple of days. But other than that, there's other RuneScape Discords I've been a part of, like people get into arguments and stuff, and there's a lot of like bad content on other RuneScape communities. So it's like, I don't know, RuneScape in a whole, like the Reddit community and everything, like there are some nasty people on there that do not want to see other people succeed. And I don't know, RuneScape art community, not like that. Everybody's like rooting for you and super happy.
Yep. Alright, lovely. I think I've covered everything I wanted to. Have you got anything you'd like to add or any shout-outs you want to make?
I don't think I have any shout-outs. Thanks for anybody who follows me and may follow me in the future. You guys rock. And everybody should go follow this guy too, because he's just sticking his neck out and trying to get interviews with everybody.
Yeah, it's good fun. Cool. But thank you so much for making the logo as well. You can see it in the middle bottom of the screen. Added it specially.
Yeah, I just whipped it up quickly because I was like, I saw that your RuneScape Discord thing, your RSCC, it was really plain, and I was like, he needs something to like
something to stand out a bit, but
something that makes it feel more RuneScape.
Yeah, it's lovely, man. It's great. So thanks again for that. Thank you for coming on. I hope you've had fun. And
no problem.
Yeah, see everybody soon, I suppose.